Hey, it's Bryant, lead pastor of Centerpoint Church, and I just wanted to give you guys an update on your financial generosity and how it's making a massive impact. We try to do this every month, but during COVID-19 and not being able to meet physically, I wanted to update you even more to just let you know that your financial generosity, I don't think has ever had more impact than it's having in this season. And really, I like to use the term return on investment, because that's exactly what Jesus talked about. Maybe you remember the parable in Matthew 25, and a parable is just like an untrue story used to illustrate something true. And Jesus says basically that he's going on a journey, or this master is going on a journey, and he divides up all of these talents. Into one he gives 5, to one he gives 2, to one he gives 1. And it says in Matthew 25:15, he does each of these depending on each one's ability, and then he goes away on a journey. And the talents basically just represent the resources that God's given us to steward. And his whole point is when we steward them well, it has an impact way beyond just us. And you guys in this season at Centerpoint Church, you have stewarded well what God's given you individually, and I believe that we've stewarded it well as a church. And in fact, over this last month, our giving increased by 8.6%. So during all of this uncertainty, where it would be easier to get less generous, we've said this from the beginning, we wanted to be a church that got more generous. Part of our core values to be irrationally generous, because that's the heart of Jesus. And then secondly, we've seen just over the last about 3 weeks, 22 people at the date of this taping, 22 new people who are mostly new to Centerpoint say, I want to be a financial contributor. I want to help create an alternative to church as usual and tear down unnecessary barriers to the gospel. And so I just wanted to commend you guys on that. Thank you for that. The place that we're at as a church, honestly, is rare in this season, and it says so much about you. And so here's what we did because of your generosity. 2 things I wanted to tell you about. First, here's what we did in the community. We took the operational budget that normally we would use for on-site services, because some of those things we don't need. Now, our costs have gone up for digital campus and online, but we still had some margin there. So we took that money and we took the money that you gave over and above and we invested it into our community. And we're doing so many things right now, like $50 gift cards we're giving away to people who are in need. And you can sign up for that or register somebody for that on our website. Then we went to all our partner organizations and figured out the partners that really needed extra help in this season. One of those is Amazing Love. They're providing mobile food service for people who are struggling with food scarcity and just really in a bad place right now. And we just gave a special gift to them over and above. Then we went to Lighthouse Ministry. They're also providing mobile food service units, showering, toiletries, and then we just were able to give a special gift to them to go, our church has been so generous, we want to give over and above to you guys this month. Then we went to other organizations like Portamento of Hope, and what I love about Portamento is they're helping some people that honestly in a lot of ways are forgotten in our community, and that is migrant workers and their families. And we were able to give a special financial gift to them to just help feed and help just kind of keep things rolling with what they're doing in feeding and clothing and giving supplies to people who have a lot of need right now in this season. And then we went to places like Italy, where we have our partners, the Spodos, leading a church there. And they're in one of the 2 hardest hit provinces in all of Italy. In fact, they haven't even opened up at all yet where they live right there. And so they were talking about the fact that their support has been cut back, and we were on a Zoom call and we were able to go, hey, because our church has been so generous, we just want to give extra money to you to help you through this difficult season. And then our partner church in City Walk in Yuba City, California, they're a 1.5 years old. We're able this next week to give a special gift to them. And so all of these partners we support on a monthly basis, but because of your generosity, we were able to give even more and just give money away into our community, both locally and globally, and to help families who are in need. And that's beside all the other stuff we're doing. Echo, we're still doing food drives for non-perishables and water every Tuesday, Thursday, 11 to 1. We have a bunch of people writing cards to elder care staff and to those people in those facilities who are kind of isolated and forgotten right now. We have teams of people who've made masks for people on the front lines. We've had people who've done just other incredible work to just help people all throughout our city, all throughout our community. We gave away meals to moms with partnership with one of our local restaurants. So I say all that to say this. None of that would be possible without you. And so I love that we've been able to be more generous in this season. And I say this and I mean it. If you want to be generous to our community right now, we've made it really easy for you. because we believe we've vetted the best organizations in our city, and we get to help staff them with volunteers and financial resources. And so just continue to give to Centerpoint to allow us to give into our community. The other thing you're going to hear about as well is we're just giving away some things to our bridge builders, our volunteers, and our church over the next couple weeks. Starting this Friday, we have a drive-through dunk tank. We're going to social distance, but you can get to see some of our staff just say hey. We're going to also give away some free Frosties to Wendy's in partnership with our local Wendy's. So we just want to do a bunch of things over the next 2 weeks to just let you know we love you guys. We miss you guys. We can't wait to be back physically, but God is doing so much through this season. So first of all, that's what we were able to do in our community. Secondly, we were able to do a bunch of stuff to reach a bunch of people all over our country, literally, with the message of the gospel. Since all of this started 8 weeks ago, we were able to significantly upgrade our online experience. And now a whole online digital campus is launching, not because we planned to do that, but because literally we've seen exponential growth through this season. And we have people who are calling Centerpoint home all over the country, all over the world. Literally last week after my wife's message, she got a message from Zambia. We got one from Zimbabwe. We've seen messages from Hawaii and Australia, other places in Africa, and not just watching, but attending and a part of Centerpoint Church online, which is absolutely incredible. Generally on a weekend, we have somewhere around 30 states joining us. And what we found is there's a lot of people in a lot of places that don't have anything like Centerpoint Church. There is nothing like what we're creating, which is an alternative to church as usual. So we're beginning to put tools in their hands. We've developed a digital iGroup that anybody can be a part of anywhere around the world and around the country. We just launched our first digital starting point for people new to faith, which was incredible. And we saw people go through that digital experience. We're creating digital next steps for people to take a next step, which generally we have on our campus. They can do that anywhere around the world. We're also providing other things to where we can provide a digital, what we call a micro campus, anywhere anybody lives. And so I just want to let you know, what you're doing is having a massive, massive impact. People are joining our gathering, our movement called Centerpoint, all over the place. We've also been able to launch a full online children's experience. We have more engagement with parents and kids than ever before. We launched our Saturday Night Live kids experience 2 weeks ago. It has been a huge success. We have things going on with our Velocity Middle School and High School pretty much every day, including our live experience on Wednesday nights on YouTube. We're seeing kids engage like never before. We were even able to hire on Bradley and Jamie Hamilton, our new middle school and high school pastor, because we want to invest more than ever in our next gen, and your financial generosity allowed that to happen. And lastly, every single weekend, we're seeing people give their lives to Jesus wherever they are. We've created a whole texting system and follow-up system that allows us to immediately get in touch with people and help them in taking their next steps. But we've seen people every single weekend make decisions to begin to follow Jesus. So I just want to encourage you, and we've said this over and over again over the last several weeks, do not grow weary, do not lose heart. What you're doing is having a massive impact. And we've been given the stewardship, not just of financial resources. We've been given the stewardship of opportunity like never before. And as a church, we're going to leverage it. We're going to use those talents, and we're going to get on the other side of COVID-19, and we're going to be better for it. And we're going to see the reach of Centerpoint changed in such a way that we have no idea all that God's going to do in this coming season. And listen, we can't wait to be back physically on site, but make no mistake, we're making plans right now for re-entry. We are not making plans to reopen because we never closed. And the church is alive and well, and we're seeing God do more than ever before. So let me just conclude with this. It is worth it. It is working. Do not grow weary. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for continuing to serve. Thank you for continuing to invest in our partner organizations. Thank you in helping us get the good news of Jesus out to thousands of more people than we were able to just 8 weeks ago. And thank you for the impact that you're having. It is making a massive, massive difference. The one story I'll just tell you in closing was a funeral that I did 2 weeks ago. A guy, 35, just died in a boating accident. And his wife began to tell me about the fact that through the ministry of Centerpoint, it was the first time in his life that he wanted to be connected to church. Had never wanted anything to do with it previously. And during one of the services at the very end, he placed his faith and trust in Jesus. And now at that funeral, as horrific as that experience was, there was incredible hope because of what you're doing through this ministry and tearing down unnecessary barriers for people to find life and freedom. So I love you guys. Thank you for what you're doing. I just wanted to share that update. Your return on investment is big time. Cannot wait to see you soon.